We are here at the very first Donuts and Comics in Manhattan at the Donut Plant, and I'm here with none other than Mr. Donuts and Comics himself, Mr. Big Apple himself, Mike Carbonaro.
Are we started yet?
Yes, we started.
Here we are. Excellent. Love reading comics and eating donuts.
Yeah, so the idea, Donuts and Comics, this is the first time we're going to do something like this, so how did the donut idea come into mind? Why donuts? Why not pizza and comics? Why not bagels and comics? Why donuts?
You know, I travel around the country buying and selling comics, and part of to kind of break up the little bit of monotony at times, I always look for the coolest donut place in town. And I end up going there, and it's like kind of a social atmosphere. And you end up having a conversation with somebody, and you're finding people, and sometimes it's in the villagey part, the coolest part of town. So I just kind of thought, donuts and comics, why not? Somehow it kind of doesn't make sense, but at the same time it does make sense.
So for the first Donuts and Comics, we're going to be promoting the Big Apple Con, which is going to be on March 7th of 2015, the years have gone by since we started.
Unbelievable. This is the 20-year anniversary. It started in 1996. But that being said, yes, March 7th, Saturday, I believe that's 3 weeks from this Saturday. Tickets on sale at the door. We'll get all the promo out of the way first, right? And then we'll talk about the history. NYCBM, New York Comic Book Marketplace.com, NYCBM.com, Big Apple Con. It's there. It's going to rock the Hotel Pennsylvania right across from Madison Square Garden, right? As we've all gone. And it started in a church basement.
Yes, the church basement. That was after the Javits Convention in '90, right?
Yeah, I believe that's where we met for the first time,
yes,
where you started.
I met you when we started doing this radio show.
Were you doing radio stuff then?
We were doing a radio show.
Really?
We had a show called Comic Book Novice we had.
Well, we've definitely gone from novice to something else.
Yes, yes. Went downstairs to the church basement. I think you had Lou Ferrigno was your guest.
Lou was there, that's great.
And we talked.
I've had so many guests so many times. I got a list here. This is like nothing compared to what they've been. I've forgotten half of the guys that we there, but we'll remember them all.
He's had so many guests. You can have a who's who of the comic book and entertainment industry.
Man.
Of the big names. All throughout the years.
Imagine if we could put them all together at one show, which is something I'm thinking about going forward. I'm actually got this idea about a World's Fair of comic conventions, but that's a whole nother story. Right now, it's the Big Apple, and we're going to talk the 20-year history from that church basement. So let me tell you how the show began.
Yes.
Okay? It's the old meaning of accident of birth. Okay? I wasn't actually wanting to or preparing to run a comic convention in New York City. I'd run other conventions. I did a rock and roll convention, a rolling rock show, a rock amusement park in the 70s in New York. It was amazing. We'll put the floor plans and the ideas up for everybody to see later. I did my own conventions at the American Legion Hall in Queens. I had 40 tables. Well, they were all mine, so I charged free admission. Then I just pick up the money from all my friends and say, hey, we did this much at each table. That was a lot of fun. And I always liked producing things. Then, so we were going to this Javits convention in 1996, and at the last minute, it was a Wednesday, and we were supposed to load in early, and there was a buzz. No convention, no convention, no convention. What? How could that be? How could that be? Stan Lee's on a plane, flying over, dealers are there. I mean, it's one of these things. So anyhow, the last minute, they couldn't run the show. We tried to find an alternate space. The promoter gave up. We said, well, if that's going to happen, we're going to do it. And there it was, the church steeple sticking out blocks away. Blocks away. Literally, you could almost see it from the corner of
the light came down.
It was shining on me, my friend Vincent Zerzolo, and Vincent Guiducci. Couple of Italians hanging out in New York. So we decided to put it together. I threw the money at the guy. He said his basement was free that weekend. I said, well, take it. He said it was like a hurricane. Okay, we threw the money out. We had no idea what would happen. We promoted it that whole weekend. The show must go on. ChurchCon, no idea what was going to happen. Saturday morning, 9 a.m., lines around the block. Whoosh! You saved the day. You guys are the superheroes, blah, blah, blah. So Vincent Zerzola and myself bought our third partner out, and Vinny and I ran the Big Apple convention for a number of years. And it was fun. It was frightening, fun, exciting. Running a show in New York City is unlike anything you've ever done before. But we did it. Hurricanes, labor relations, all kinds of different things going on. Celebrities, artists, I can't make it, I can make it. I need extra cheese on my bagel, or I'm not coming to the show. Get me the limo right away. I mean, everything. The dealer can't make it. I'm stuck in traffic and the show's gonna begin. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff I've dealt with, survived, worked out the answers for, and put together. I figured it out that I actually, if you count all the days of setup and all the 3, 2, 3, and 4-day shows, because we actually did have a Monday show once.
With the blizzard.
That was it.
Blizzard.
Yep, it snowed. We canceled
that.
the show on Sunday, but we did a free admission Monday.
Yes.
If anyone out there has done a Monday show, I want us to tell us. By the way, we're setting up a chat room called Big Apple Memories. BigAppleMemories.com, and if anyone has any good, bad, agnostic, whatever it is, send us your memories of the Big Apple. If they got you started, if we had an altercation, we had a fight, whatever happened, I love it. Let's talk about the Big Apple, because, you know, that's the thing. I held the fort in New York City for a dozen years before and we love it. The big Comic Con is great, but, you know, it was a more intimate event.
Yes.
It was somewhere where if there's an artist or a celebrity, if you couldn't get to them, you come and see me and I'll make sure I get you to that person.
Yes.
And literally, a who's who from David Carradine, Malcolm McDowell, Lori Petty, Carmen Electra, Hayden Panettiere, Kristen Bell, Gil Kane, unfortunately not around anymore. Also Carmine Infantino, not around anymore. Julia Schwartz, great editors and artists from the comic book world. Burt Ward, Adam West, and Stan Lee. I mean, Howie Chaykin's been to us. Frank Miller and Neil Adams did a talk twice. Frank Miller calls Mr. Neil Adams his uncle, his comic book uncle. It's just great. And they started, I had no idea what would happen. I went up and introduced them. And Miller says, I'll come only if Neil will do a panel with me. And I sat literally enthralled. To get me to sit down for an hour is pretty tough. And didn't move. I actually introduced him in my Joker mask. Maybe I didn't need a mask. And they talked, they started, and next thing you know, they were talking about every nuance, everything in comics, which is another thing that we have. We have that interview twice, and we'll be getting that on our website going forward. So it's just been great, you know. And the people I met, Steven Seagal, Richard Dreyfuss. I remember Richard Dreyfuss comes to the show, right? The guy's carrying a barrel. What, he had a barrel, one of those Jaws barrels, and he had Richard Dreyfuss signing the barrel. What are you gonna do with the barrel? Get him to sign it, of course. George Lazenby, James Bond, who became a personal friend of mine. I still talk to him all the time. We're going to try and bring him back for a show we're doing in Queens in December. But anyhow, here it is, coming up March 7th. We've got donuts. We are starting something new. Big Apple Donuts.
Look at that.
You've never
Big
seen
Apple
it before.
Donuts.
We're making a t-shirt. We're going to be giving these out to everybody that comes for the early admission. By the way, they're a couple of bucks a piece, so we can't give them to everybody. But we have the proletariat donut. And this one will be a little bit less expensive. You can buy them at the show. There you go, for the latecomers, exactly. But it's gonna be fun. So I'm really excited. We got green balloons. We got the Green Power Ranger, of course, coming to the show.
Jason David Frank.
Which is really cool. Him and I just kind of hit it off. He's a high energy guy, I guess so am I. And he says, I'm coming to your show. I said, okay, let's do it. So
it's gonna be March 7th?
Yes, sir. Saturday.
One-day show, so you gotta get there and do it.
Yeah.
And then, who else is going to be there? You have Jake the Snake.
Hold on, I want to ask you a question. Jake the Snake, yes. Do you have any good memories of yours particular that you remember going into church basement or something that happened positive?
The only memory I would say is my memory of meeting you.
No, there you go. Oh.
See,
I told you, even the negative things, you can come up and put them on the Big Apple memories.
You had a partner, and this is back in the day, so this is 18 years. So you had a guy with you, your assistant, with a pad and paper, writing down every single idea he had. So every time I told him, he goes, write it down.
He's still writing those ideas.
And he wrote it down. So now, this is before cell phones and all modern technology. So he's like, this is a great idea, write that down. And he wrote it down, and that's...
I had my guy here, but he's left. I'm calling for him now. I don't know where he is with my pad and paper. I've lost him. That's great. That's great. You know what? I'm going to go back and see if I can find that pad and paper. That's pretty cool.
Those ideas must be the gold mine of Mike Carbonaro's mind on that paper. Every single idea you had.
In some ways, that's part of what's led to it getting bigger and bigger. I mean, literally, the church basement was 1,000 people. It was 2,000 people.
Right.
And then, it would be Saturday afternoon, and I wouldn't see Saturday morning, early, almost afternoon, and I'd go outside and see there's nobody out there. And I'd go in the back in the crypt. This was in the church, and I'd literally be crying, thinking, where did all these people? And then I'd walk out a half hour later. Oh, there's the line, and it would go.
Yeah,
and
they show
finally,
up,
we built it and built it and built it. Finally, we moved it to the Hotel Pennsylvania. That's where it is now, and it's not a 10-star hotel, but it's really adequate. It's a great hotel. It's a city block long in New York City, and it's right across from Madison Square Garden. And it literally can fit as many people as want to come to the show. Although tickets have been selling unbelievably for this event. Tickets will be on sale at the door, no problem at all. Just come down, we'll get you into the show. I've never turned away my guests no matter what. Even if I have to keep the show going on for a few hours, even if we have to make them wait or figure something, I've never turned away guests for a comic convention.
Which is admirable, because the bigger cons do have that problem. They do lock people out. So Mike Carbonaro is making sure you're gonna get.
I'll turn it into a Sunday con if there's enough people. No problem. We'll add a day if we have to.
So who else is gonna be there?
Okay, so we got Roddy Piper coming down to the show. Jake the Snake, Jason David Frank. We've got a couple of. We got 2 Walking Dead guys. One guy had a screwdriver in his head. Another guy had a pitchfork coming out of it. Okay, a bunch of artists. Got Herb Trimp, the guy that started with the Wolverine. Okay, Hulk and Wolverine. A bunch of other comic book artists. Brian Kong will be there.
Yeah, Rich Buckler's gonna be there.
Yeah, Rich Buckler. Rich Buckler's stuff now, all that 70s comic books, all the stuff that people were like, you know, Nova, Ms. Mystic, She-Hulk, all those cool 70s characters are all coming to light. They're all starting to expand. The comic books are getting valuable. People are they're sticking them into the comic book movies now.
Yes.
You know, we're gonna be doing ticket giveaways for Avengers 2, all kinds of cool stuff. You know, we're gonna be doing a whole bunch of takeaways every hour on the hour. But, you know, I mean, just the 20 years, man, I couldn't even believe it. It was actually Vinny, my old partner, said to me, you know, and as the years went on, Vincent decided to do Metropolis Comics, and he created an absolutely incredible comic book and auction company called Metropolis and Comic Connect. And I stayed with the comic convention, but Vinny's always helped me, and he's been there as a friend and as a guide, and he's always been there for advice. And you know, he said, you know, Mike, it's going to be 20 years next year. This is like, I said, no, it can't be. Yeah. And then I did that, and maybe it's actually 19 and a half, but we'll roll with 20. What the heck?
Yeah.
You know.
So next 20 years, what's going to be happening?
Oh my God!
Be doing more,
the next 20 years.
More donuts and comics, right?
We're gonna do donuts and comics. That's the one thing I really like. That's the idea, because I get to drink a little espresso, which I love. A little coffee. We get the donuts. I can't eat these because this one's like really hard, right? You know. Okay. This is the one we made, but I will be getting them as soon as we're done. And we pass out comic books to people. Who get your free comic book here? Hey, would you like a comic book, young lady? Micronauts, no less?
There you go.
There you go.
Exactly.
And come to our comic book convention. Here's a flyer.
Thank you.
There you go.
Just like
See?
that.
Donuts and comics.
Anybody comes, so it's
we're going to do this. The next one, we're going to do it in Queens. We're going to try and do one in every borough. And I'll do a free appraisal for your comic books.
Free
We can do a
appraisal.
dozen people. You come, you get a free coffee, free donut, and a free comic book.
coffee,
So
donut, and
you
an
register on
appraisal.
this website. We'll do it probably in early May, and we're going to do it every couple of months in all the different boroughs. And we're going to get ready for the big con that we're going to do a 2-day event at the end of this year in Queens, my part of town. But anyhow, this is it. 20-year anniversary Big Apple. Bring a balloon, bring something green, come hang out, enjoy yourself. It's going to be a great day.
Yes, so make sure you guys follow it at nycbm.com. That's New York Comic Book Marketplace.com. Get the information. Tickets are on sale now for the
I'm going back to reading
Big
my
Apple-
Sergeant Rock.
Big Apple Con. And so make sure you like our show, It Came From The Radio. Follow us on Twitter at ICFTR, Facebook at camefromtheradio.com, and also look for more donuts and comics in Queens coming up.
And we have a secret password. Boba Fett. Say it at the front door and you'll get a surprise. Boba Fett.
So this is Mark Torres and Mike Carbonaro signing off. Until next time.
Cheers.